Good morning, everybody. Just getting all the cute little things going here. Oh, God. Okay, there we go. We have one machine going. It always takes a little minute here to try and get things happening. Let's see. Always makes me laugh, you know, just so funny. Anyways, okay, so good morning, everybody. Monday morning. Hey, nice to see everybody here. Oh, there we go. Hey, we're on. We're really on. Okay, so and we're gonna get rid of that. Okay. Oh God. Okay, who's here? Anyways, we're gonna do a thing today. And while I am cutting up the potatoes, can you guys see that? So I have some lovely potatoes from, hey Jane, good morning. I have some lovely potatoes here from Naysgar's Farm and Garden in Port Alberni, if you guys happen to be local. And, you know, that's the thing with washing all these things, right? You, now that we have to wash all our vegetables in soap and water, I think it kind of does something, you know, or maybe I'm using too much soap, I don't know. But anyway, they seem to get little parts of blemishes that I don't remember ever happening before. But anyways, yeah, maybe I'm using too much soap. And I use a little bit of vinegar too, so. Anyways, just going to cut those little pieces off. These are actually really beautiful, beautiful spring potatoes from Naysgar's. And so we're going to make a potato dish because I'm going to be in rough shape this afternoon. So I need something soft. I have to cold this afternoon. So we're gonna make mushy things for dinner. Okay, so what I'm gonna do with this potato is it's a little bit different. We've done something kind of similar to this before. Hey Heather, hi. So I'm gonna cut this potato, and apparently there's a trick to this, which I'm going to take a spoon and set it behind the potato. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna take another spoon and set it in front of the potato. Can you guys see this? Okay, there's a wooden spoon here and a wooden spoon here, and that's going to stop me. Hopefully, I haven't quite done it like this. I've always just sliced them up and then kind of scrunched them together. But we're going to try this trick that I saw with. I don't want to cut all the way down through the potato. That's the whole gist of the whole thing here. And so we're going to put a slice of potato down, and this is a really fat potato. This is probably not the best. Hey Darlene, good morning. This is probably not the best best style of potato to do this with, but I'm going to try it anyway, because that's what we do on here. We try things. And we make mistakes, and oh, speaking of that, I'll show you something in a minute here. Yeah, I think the spoon thing works because when I hit the bottom of the spoon, I'm not going to the bottom of the potato. Can you guys see that? That I've created an accordion like spaces in between because I put the spoon in between, and I wasn't sure if it would work with this kind of potato because it's so fat. Typically, you're going to use one of these shorter ones so that it's a little easier to do, but I did it, so that's awesome. Okay, so speaking of mistakes, you guys, I'm going to show you a couple things here. What we did on Friday. You know, I'm always like got lots on the go and trying to do too many things at once, and I often don't, I get so excited about things that I don't always, well, I almost never read directions. Anyway, so here's the thing. I'm going to show you this after. But we were looking at this. Remember we made that just a little bit. I wanted a little bit of purple sauerkraut, or, well, purple cabbage made into sauerkraut on Friday because I was right out of sauerkraut. So I just whipped up a little bit and made it super fine with the mandolin so that it would ferment faster. So you can actually get it starting to ferment like in as little as 3 days if you put it in a warm spot. Typically, you know, it's a couple weeks or whatever before it really starts getting kind of sauerkrauty. And so anyways, I did this, but I usually just put a, you know, a cloth or a paper towel or coffee filter or something over top to keep the air out so that it can breathe. But then I ordered this thing, the Perfect Pickler, and I was trying to put it together in front of everybody on Friday, and I didn't know how it went, and this thing just didn't seem to fit in here. Well, there's a gasket that comes with it. If I'd have looked in the bottom of the box, I would have found the gasket. Anyway, I found the gasket. So it does go like this. For Monique, who was here on Friday, telling me that we were trying it in all different ways upside down. But it sits in there with the little gasket, and then you fill it up with water here to so that the fermentation air can expand out. There's a little air thing with little holes for air in the top, so that it can just bubble up and release the gases and not let any bacteria or any little animals like fruit flies or things like that in. Anyway, we're going to do like a major sauerkraut thing later on. I just thought I'd show you since we did on Friday, and I was all scratching my head on how that thing fit into the lid when it didn't seem to fit. Anyway, okay, so okay, so yeah, so we're going to do more of these potatoes. So like I was saying, yeah, I have to go to the dentist and I have to have my molar pulled. And I'm telling you guys this also partly because it's really important to have good teeth. And I grew up in, well, I don't know. I mean, I was like 2 in 1960. What does that tell you? See, there's another one. Here we go. Anyways, and these are all washed. Everything's washed. Hands washed, potatoes washed, everything washed. Anyway, so I grew up with my mom finding out about that that the cereals were all fortified with vitamins, especially Captain Crunch, and I had Tang instead of orange juice for breakfast, and oh my God, I don't even know how much Cheese Whiz, and anyway, it was definitely the worst diet ever. You know, I actually remember about once a year, make sure I'm cutting these in front of you guys with two spoons here. Once a year I would crave a can of peas because I just had never had fresh vegetables. I didn't really even know where peas came from. It was an interesting lifestyle, to be sure. Much more detailed than that. But anyway, food-wise, it was just the most horrible diet. And so it's funny that every year, or maybe every 6 months, my body would crave a vegetable, and I would open up a can of peas and I'd just eat the whole can. Because somehow, intuitively, or yeah, I needed some sort of nutrition besides those convenience foods, like Carnation Instant Breakfast had all of the vitamins, minerals. Tang was fortified, you didn't need orange juice. Captain Crunch and all the cereals had everything. TV dinners were out. I mean, everything was instant and awesome. You know, so, and I didn't know any different. See, these are coming out like this. So, okay, so story coming to, basically, I was terrible going to the store to buy penny candies. Okay, so yeah, that's how old I am. There were penny candies back then, and I'd go buy a whole bag full. And my best friend Patty and I, we'd go buy those penny candies, and she would get everybody would get really mad because I never broke out. But there's I never broke out from the sugar. And but there are pros and cons to that. Not breaking out meant that that other things were going to fall apart. Okay, so we always have something, right? We always have a genetic tendency for something to be a potentially weak area. So Okay, see, nice. And so what happened was, because I didn't break out, equals dry skin, right? So, okay, so I'm going to wrinkle faster than everybody else, just genetically, and also, I mean, you know, I didn't eat a fresh vegetable until, probably until I was 20. And how I grew, I have no idea. No idea. And so, okay, I'm going to, in between these, I'll just tell it. I'm telling stories today. In between these, we're going to put coconut oil, and we're going to separate them with scapes, just so you're catching on to what I'm doing here while I talk. Here's coconut oil. I'm going to use a little bit. I have a big bucket. So anyways, yeah, so how I grew, I have no idea. And so the effects of that were really, really bad skin, dry skin, and bad teeth. Okay, so by the age of 18, I had 32 cavities. 32. And they had to put me to sleep because that was way too many to work on at once. And they did work on them at once. I was really traumatized when I was littler, by a dentist, you know, and I think maybe many of us back in those days, you know, they didn't have the technology of the I'm trying to get, again, you see, I'm trying to get the coconut in between here. They didn't have the technology of the smooth needles and all that stuff, and so I think that probably many people were traumatized, and certainly I was. So at 18, I was like, they said I had 32 cavities, and I'm like, okay, put me to sleep and just do it. So what that means, because I'm pretty sure, and Jane can correct me on this, that I think we only have 32 teeth in our mouth. So, or something like that. And so basically now I have to use a clean spoon because I put my knife in there, so you clean spoon it for the, so I don't contaminate the coconut oil. And so, anyways, yeah, so they did the 32 cavities, and so what that means, what that equaled out to was basically 32 fillings, and so they filled 32 fillings with the amalgam, with the mercury, right? So, and I'm not going to get into all the controversy or lack of or whatever, although I do have books on it. And when I was, I don't know, when I was 20, no, probably 30. When I was probably 30, yeah, that'd be about right, around 30. I learned that I was having health issues, and I learned that it could likely be the amalgams creating my issues. And so I wanted them out. Oh no. Speaking of which, the dentist is phoning right during my thing. They're going to have to wait 15 minutes. Oh my God, my appointment's not till 2. I hope it's a reminder. Oh, is that hilarious or what? Oh my God, you guys. Like the dentist thing is on the thing. That's what I'm looking at. Anyway, you have to wait 15 minutes. I'm doing important stuff here. These people are very important to me, and I'm not to be interrupted right now. I'll see you at 2 o'clock. No, I'll phone him back. Anyways, yeah, so when I was about 30, I wanted them all taken out, the amalgams, the mercury. And so my dentist at the time, you know, he's so cute, well known. He's retired now. Super awesome guy, you know, and actually I was so terrified to go to him that he, in addition to the fantastic needle procedure, and he's such a sweetheart, and you'll probably guess who he is by what I'm going to say, but he's such a sweetheart that he said, you know, I could drink all the scotch I want before I go in for my appointment. So I did, and he replaced the 32 amalgam fillings with the white porcelain stuff, whatever that is. And so so he did replace the 32 fillings, and so that's, you know, I don't know, math isn't my thing, but I was like 30-ish, and now I'm 60-ish. I was like 32 years ago. Anyways, okay, so I'm 63 now, Anyway, it was that long ago. So, you know, I mean, things only last so long, and so I guess these amalgams are starting to gradually break. And what's happened is that there's so much filling that there's hardly any tooth. Like basically what they did when I was 18 was they just capped all my roots. And so, yeah, so there wasn't really much there to work with. So anyways, I guess, you know, things are starting to, you know, a filling probably 30 some years is probably pretty good job, right, that he did. So anyways, yeah, so during the whole COVID thing, this one got a little off, and so I've been babying it along, but it does have an infection in it, and so, and I'm not going to do a root canal, and or anything else, and I'm not going to go into those reasons, but anyway, so it's getting pulled. So eat your vegetables when you're a kid, and please, you know, I think that we're much more aware. I mean, thank God TV dinners are not as popular as they were in the 60s, and you know, it was a brand new thing then. And so yeah, so you really want to take care of your teeth and eat your vegetables and do things to keep your health up, because I've been trying to reverse the effects of that, you know, first 18 years for the last 40. Does that add up? Anyways, okay, so what we're doing here, well, I'm telling you stories. So we have the beautiful potatoes. I'll show you this one. We've accordioned them for the new people that came on. We made little accordions, and I've stuffed coconut oil in between as best I can. We're going to sprinkle garlic over top, and we are going to put these garlic scapes in between to, aren't they beautiful, from the garden? So we're going to separate it and cut it on an angle so that the garlic scapes go in between each potato slice, which is going to make it a super nice garlicky potato. And then I'm going to put it in the oven for like way too long, because I need it to be mush for when I get back from the dentist this afternoon, and for dinner. So I'm just gonna, I don't know, can you guys see this? I don't know if you can see it. I'm just taking the scape and I'm cutting it on a long angle, and I'm gonna stick each scape in here. So yeah, so anyways, that's your moral of the story of you can reverse the effects of many health issues, you know, such as that, right? I've been working on my health for the last, well, especially the last 20 years. You know, we basically, for the most part, 20 years ago, quit eating meat, and then I started learning and taking courses on health and nutrition and herbs, of course, and received all my certifications and all that kind of thing, and it's really, really done us well, you know, as far as our own health. I'm learning. I think I was going to use the little tiny garlic scapes, but I think that these guys are going to be better, and I'm going way too slow here. I'm going to keep you guys hanging on for way too long. But I want them to be long. I want them to be long scapes. So the scapes are doing their thing. The garlic's coming up. There's a thing on Facebook I posted for you guys, and I hope everybody's gardening, but if you're not, there is a thing that I posted on food, on herbs, not herbs, food, vegetables to plant right now. So there's for the fall harvest or the fall planting, there are a list of vegetables that you could plant right now for your fall crop. That's what I'm trying to say. Hard to talk and do it at the same time. See, I have the little garlic scapes, and I'm going to stick them like this in between each one so that it flavors. So the other thing that we're going to do is, oh gosh, the other thing, we're going to bake this, and then and I am going to make a salad for my husband. I won't be able to eat it unless I smoothie it, which I will do. So in a case like this is another thing that is a handy little tip is that when I can't eat, chew or eat vegetables or anything like that, like that's where your smoothies come in, and it should be a vegetable smoothie. And so you can have a smoothie with your dinner as long as it doesn't have fruit. Now, we talked about that before. You should only have fresh fruit 15 or 20 minutes before a meal or 2 hours after, because the fruit will it will start to ferment. Like if you bite into an apple, it starts to turn brown within, easily within 10 minutes. And so the enzymes start to break down, and then it starts to ferment, and so it really should be eaten on its own, because what will happen is if you eat fresh fruit and then you eat whatever heavier things like potatoes or, certainly meats or anything like that, that fruit's going to start fermenting, but your stomach and your intestinal system is not going to, well, your stomach isn't going to let that through until everything's broken into the consistency to go into the intestine, which is obviously not going to be how the whole food looks. It's going to be something called chyme, and so nothing's going to go through. So that fruit will start fermenting while it's waiting for the starches and the meats and whatever else you ate to break down, which is going to take, like, it could be up to 2 hours. It could be longer if it's meat. And so that fruit's going to ferment and create the gas and the bloating. So you don't want to have fruit with your meal. So if you're going to have a smoothie instead of a salad, make sure it's a vegetable smoothie, not a fruit smoothie. So make sure it's like kale, carrots. If you add enough carrots, it'll be sweet anyways. And so kale and carrots and celery, you could add avocado because it tends not to create that fermenting as fast, or Swiss chard or whatever it is that you want to add. But what I prefer to do, because I would have, if I'm eating this potato, which they're coming along, see how nice? They've got little cactus spikes on them. If I'm eating this potato, I don't really want to drink a whole smoothie. So what I'll do, and what I suggest for everyone to do, if you're having any kind of a issue where you can't eat your vegetables, you still need that nutrition. So get a good quality greens, dried greens powder. And what I'll do is, because I don't want to flood my stomach with a bunch of liquid, that's another thing about the digestion, is you really shouldn't drink water while you're eating, because you need acid and enzymes to attach to the food and start breaking it down into that chyme and into breaking down so it can go into the I forget the name of it, but anyway, where it goes before it goes into the intestine. And so you don't want to flood your stomach with fluids, because then the enzymes are like swimming around trying to attach to the food to break it down. So it's really important, if you need to drink anything while you're eating, sip, and which is why wine works, especially red wine has enzymes in it. So you just sip a little bit, or if you're drinking water or whatever, sip. You try not to drink any kind of pop, carbonated, pop or soda or whatever, especially when you're eating. And anyway, so you don't want to drink a lot. So that's another reason to not want a big smoothie while I'm eating my potato. And so if you take the greens powder and make sure it's a really good quality that has not just a bunch of rice bran and fillers, but that has something like spirulina or chlorella, really high quality. One of the ones I like a lot that's pretty common is Enerex, Enerex. But there's Greens Plus. There are, I think there are Vega greens. There's all kinds of different greens. And so, anyways, what I'll do is I'll take the greens powder and I'll just put it in a little tiny, small glass, like 2 or 3 ounces, because I don't want a whole bunch of water to dilute my enzymes, just to hinder the digestion of what I've eaten. So, so that's what I will do tonight while everybody else, while my husband's having salad and veggies. I'll have some greens powder with my beautiful potato. Can you guys see that? Isn't that cute? It's got the little garlic scapes in them. So, and the garlic scapes, okay, so the reason for this is you want something in between to hold these open and also to absorb the flavor of the garlic scapes. Now, if I didn't have garlic scapes, what I would stick in between here could be slices of cloves of garlic, or you could put onions in between, and that would be really awesome too. So what I'm going to do, I've sprinkled granulated garlic on it, and now I'm going to add a little bit of minced garlic. Now that the scapes are holding it open for the minced garlic to actually go in between the spaces there. So you can you see that looks like almost like Parmesan on top, which is the next step, is going to be this Earth Island Parmesan. And I need to wipe my hands here. Okay, so the Earth Island Parmesan is really, really lovely. You can get this at Healthy Habits, or maybe some of the other grocery stores too, but certainly any health food store. And so that's just gonna add that. Okay. So I know sometimes you guys complain when I show you too much, but I just want you to get a close-up of that. Isn't that really, really nice? I just love it. So yeah, so that's going to go in the oven, loosely covered with a piece of foil so that it's got just a teeny bit of water in the bottom, and then loosely covered so it's not super tight because I don't want the cheese to melt, but so I'll puff it up a little bit and then close the edges, and I'm going to check it in like an hour at 350 and just see, because you could have it like, you could actually take the foil off and have it kind of crispy on the outside or something. I don't want to do that. Obviously, I'm going to have a sore mouth, so I want them like pretty mushy, like I could just take a fork and mush all that beautiful garlic scapes and Parmesan and garlic minced and everything all together. And nom, nom, nom. It's going to be so yummy. The other thing you can add to it after it's finished is the beautiful, hi Angeli, nice to see you. We can add the beautiful plant-based Parmesan that we made last week. So this is cashews and sunflower seeds and nutritional yeast all ground together. So you could sprinkle that over for a Parmesan afterwards. You wouldn't do it before because these are raw nuts and seeds, and they're much healthier for you when they're raw, right? So yeah, once they're cooked, it takes away the enzymes and the nutrition a bit, which leads us to the next thing. The next thing is, speaking of raw nuts, so I started showing you guys this on Friday, and then we kind of ran out of time, and we're going to run out again. God, the dentist just popped back into my mind. Okay, anyway, yeah, I can feel your energy. So give me another few minutes. So these are hazelnuts, and what I did, and I already ate the ones that I made on Friday. So the hazelnuts, I soaked them for like an hour, and then I drained the water off, and then filled it up with, so that it's got like half a cup of water, or basically it's a half a cup of hazelnuts is what I started with, and they swelled up a little bit because of the soaking, and then I brought it up to half a cup of water. So it's not really half a cup of water, it's half a cup with the hazelnuts in it. Nothing like confusing you guys, oh my God. So so what we're gonna do with this, where is it? Okay, oh, here we go. Okay, we're gonna add dates. Okay, so I have some dates here, and what we're gonna do is we're going to slice the dates open, and for half a cup, I need a new knife here so it doesn't taste like garlic. What we're going to do is slice these dates open, and so if your dates have a seed, just pull the seed out. You're going to have your dates, and we're going to throw the dates in here. So this is just for additional sweetness. Now, when you soak your hazelnuts, or any nuts. It is going to enhance it's going to start the germination and sprouting process, so they do tend to get sweeter when they're soaked, which makes them way better for you, easier to digest, more nutrition because it started the sprouting process, which activates all the vitamins and minerals. And so for the hazelnuts, of course, they have magnesium in them, and calcium and B vitamins and stuff like that. So and as well protein, of course. And then so we're adding the dates to it, and so I wasn't sure. I've got so many different. I have so much stuff in jars. I didn't know if they were pitted, and these ones are, so I don't have to take the pits out. So the dates, and then the dates are super high in potassium. They've got copper. Obviously, they're a better choice than any sugar, anything like that. They're high in fiber, and all kinds of good stuff in dates. So it's a really good natural alternative to sweetener. And we did a beautiful dates thing last week. Whoops, wrong knife. Where we just filled the dates with nut butter, almond butter. Okay, so I've got 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I've got 4. That might be too much, but if you like it sweet, then it works. Okay, so we're going to take this thing with the hazelnuts and the water and the dates. That's all that's in there. And we're going to try this with the magic bullet. You know, I hope I don't kill my poor baby, but with the Vitamix and this little tiny bit, it does tend to whoosh on the sides, and so you've got whoosh, and it's all stuck. And then you need to take your spatula and get it all out. Sometimes it's hard when you're making a little tiny bit to use the Vitamix because it's just too big of a thing, right? And so I'm going to try this because these did soak, and I actually put them on earlier. Like on Friday, I had soaked them for an hour, and now I started soaking them at about, before 9, so they've soaked for 2 hours, so they'll be softer. So I'm hoping that's easier on the magic bullet. So keep that in mind. If you're using a regular blender, then then probably an hour is good enough. Like I don't even need to soak them with the Vitamix because it's so powerful. But since it's such a tiny bit, we're just going to use the magic bullet and see what happens. So, okay. Okay. Probably did enough damage there. Okay, that's not a good idea. I should use the Vitamix. Poor baby, you're still alive. I'm sure. I don't smell I don't smell anything burning. No. Oh God. Oh well. Like I said before, I make the mistakes so that you don't have to. Blade looks still alive, so that's awesome. Didn't lose a blade in the thing. So when I did this on Friday, it was so awesome, and this is such a high energy thing. It's where's my little dish so I can show you. Okay. This is and it didn't do all the pieces, which I would put it back into the blender for, but it's still beautiful. So what this is going to be like super high energy nuts for the protein. So and then with the dates and the goodness of the dates and the potassium and all that will keep me going all day. So if you wanted to, rather than if you want something super quick, that's super energizing and give you energy to go out and do whatever it is that you want to do physical, this is awesome because it's so full of protein, and then it has the sweetness and completely natural, nothing in it. There's no dairy, there's no anything, just water, hazelnuts, and dates. You could do it with almonds, or you could definitely do it with almonds. You could do it with any nuts, walnuts. Just make sure your walnuts are fresh, because walnuts are, I think they're one of those things that tends to, good luck this afternoon. Walnuts are one of those things that tend to, I think, kind of go rancid sooner. Like you have to really make sure your walnuts are super fresh. There is a place I heard about recently. I don't know the prices or anything. It's called nuts.com, and I don't even know where it is. Probably in the States. But I heard about that. But anyway, make sure your nuts are fresh. Healthy Habits or your health food store will be for sure getting in fresh, super fresh nuts. And you can tell the difference, huge difference. So, yeah, so I guess I'm just going to show you. We did the elderberry syrup last week. Actually, we did an elderberry syrup and an elderberry oxymel last week, which was super awesome. And so I really, really enjoyed the, so great. It's just awesome stuff. And we did the plantain. This is just a little bit of the extra oil. So we did the plantain and olive oil. We'll be making salve with that later on. And then I also, you might have seen the picture with the chamomile. So these are the chamomile flowers. And so I pulled all the little heads off for the tea. You can use the leaves and the, like the leaves and the stems, but it's not as pleasant. It's more medicinal. So this is the general chamomile that most people are used to drinking in their tea. That's very calming and soothing and has all kinds of anti-inflammatory properties and stuff. So anyways, okay, so that's it, and I better phone the dentist to find out. They might want me in early. So I'll be here tomorrow at 11, and hopefully I can talk. Oh, God. Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you for the healing energy. It's all good. I'm grateful that I was able to wait this long for a really safe time to go. And it's all going to be good and positive energy. And we'll see you tomorrow at 11. And we'll oh, pulse it. Oh, yeah. I don't know why. Sometimes my my comments are like lagging. And yeah, I could have pulsed it. Or used my Vitamix, which I'll do next time. Okay, see you guys tomorrow at 11. And yeah, have a great day. Take care, and tell everybody to subscribe to my YouTube.